Good evening, wide world. Welcome to Q's on the Move. My name is Brian Twyman, Basilis of ADMU New and chairman for the Movement Improvement Uplift Foundation. I want to begin the show with our daily thanks to District Representative Del Rico Gales, as well as co-chairs for the Fatherhood and Mentoring Committee, brothers Donna Williams and brothers Jeffrey Diggs. This is going to be an exciting show tonight. I hope we can fill this listening audience with a lot of good information just related to what individuals are doing in our communities, positive future for our young boys and girls, and just awesome individuals and what they're doing with their lives. So with that, furthermore, I want to introduce to you, listening audience, Mr. Greg Shanon, CEO of Harambee School. I want to give him a few moments to introduce himself to everyone out there in the listening audience. And we'll begin a nice conversation just to bring you all in and help you understand a little bit more about the great things he's doing in Philadelphia. Brother Shanon.
Good evening, all, and thank you, Brother Twyman. It is certainly a pleasure to be here to have this discussion relative to all the wonderful things that are happening in our community with our dynamic children, and also regarding all of the great things that the brothers and the men of Omega have done and will continue to do out in the future. As mentioned, my name is Brother Greg Shanon. I am a proud member of Omega Psi Phi, Omega Delta chapter, where I pledged at Westchester University in the fall of 1982. I'm a trade dog and proud to say it. And again, proud to be a great member of the Omega Delta chapter from Westchester University. Currently, I am the CEO of Harambee Institute for Science and Technology Charter School. And I must say that this school has been built on sacred ground and on the shoulders of sacred brothers. The late John Skeef, who was a Beta Gamma brother from the spring of 1968, and Brother Joe Foster, another BG brother, who is from the fall of 1968. And it is through their efforts and the efforts of the Brothers of Omega that this great institution was built and will continue not just to survive, but to thrive here in the greater Philadelphia and metropolitan community. So again, I say thank you for the opportunity, and I most certainly look forward to a robust dialogue.
Oh, absolutely, Brother Shanon. It's going to be pretty easy because the things that you're doing in Philadelphia need to be known. You know, people need to know that what you're providing for our youth in Philadelphia is out there. It's attainable. We need to reproduce models such as your institution across Philadelphia and even in the regions outside. This is currently Q's on the Move is an international show, so they'll see it everywhere. And I hope that you are serving as a model for what can be done, should be done for our youth, and just as a place where people can reach out to you as a mentor, as a brother, as a brother of Omega Psi Phi Fraternity Incorporated, and just as a person who has a lot of knowledge about what impact we can make on our students. So with that, can you tell me a little bit about your impact? I heard you say science and technology, but tell me a little bit more about that as it applies to your everyday curriculum, because it's like now STEM, science, technology, engineering and math is kind of commonplace, but it sounds like that was your institute was built on that.
Yes, so our institute was really built on two bedrock, if you will. One, first and foremost, we are an African-centered school. And so our school functions around the rules of Ma'at and the Nguza Saba principles. We pay homage to our African heritage and culture and all of the wonderful contributions that our ancestors have contributed to throughout history and throughout time. Our institution, again, around those principles, is built on a central theme of education for self-reliance. because we believe that if we are good stewards of oneself with respect to our cognitive and social and emotional development, then we in turn will be good stewards to our families, our community, and our culture. Beyond that, we are, as you mentioned, a STEM school, and our curriculum focuses on science and technology, engineering, and math. I'm proud to say, if I may, for just 1 second, that
Please.
we are in our 50th year of service to the West Philadelphia community and to the West Philadelphia and metropolitan area at large. Harambee began in the 1972-73 school year, where our founder, Brother John Skeef, was a teacher at West Philadelphia High School at that time. And at that time, there was a long and protracted strike, SEPTA strike, whereby the students could not get to school or acquire the seniors enough seat time in order to qualify them for graduation and thereby move them on to post-secondary education. Brother Skeef created the Harambee Institute to allow those seniors at West Philadelphia High School at that time to acquire the seat time and then go off to great HBCU universities. And so, again, we're proud of our history. We're proud of our heritage. We're proud of the fact that Harambee was, in 1997, was in the first cohort of charter schools in the entire Commonwealth of Pennsylvania. So at that time, there were 4 charter schools in that first cohort. We're proud that we were one of those 4 charter schools in the first cohort in the Commonwealth. And we were, in fact, the first African-centered charter school in the entire Commonwealth. And so we have a long and illustrious history of service built on the backs and the shoulders of strong brothers like Brother John Skeef and Brother Joe Foster.
Yeah, appreciatively strong, brother. That's an excellent little pedigree, that you shared with us. And I think that more people need to know that, wonderful projects like what you've done there don't just happen overnight, because the new trend is now get a charter school or do something such like that. And, to do a beautiful thing like you're doing for our Philadelphia community and our children, it's impressive, and it takes a little bit of time. So, sharing that history, I think people can, begin to envision that this isn't a fly-by-night operation. This is a well thought out, well-oiled machine. And these children are coming out into the world, becoming excellent people and, well-educated human beings and way to contribute to our society. So that's what we're looking for. Brother, you have currently how many students in that school, so that people can kind of know a little bit about your demographic and how big and what they're looking at when we talk about your charter school?
Surely. And so we are a niche school located in West Philadelphia. We have a student enrollment currently of 574 children in grades kindergarten through 8, where we typically have 2 cohorts of classes in every grade. This year, with the exception of 5th grade and 6th grade, where we have 3. And so we are, again, an African-centered school. We are a city-wide admit school, so our children come from all over the city to attend Harambee, as well as Delaware County and Chester County. So we have children who also come from outside the city limits of Philadelphia, again, whose parents want this kind of experience.
Yeah, that's a beautiful thing, that you can offer that. I mean, I wish I live in the Reading area, which is not too far up the road, and I always dreamed to have a really strong Afrocentric school that I could encourage for my community. But maybe we'll get there one day. It's wonderful to see that you guys are doing and making such a successful impact on our students. Brother Greg, can you tell me a little bit about how your day works? Do you come in at 7, leave at 3? Do you stay after school? Do you co-op programs? Is there anything extra special about the way your day's set up that you'd like to share with people?
Surely. My day here typically begins about 6:30 a.m. And as you can see from my background, I'm still here.
Right.
And so
dedication.
I typically work probably about a 14 to 16 hour day daily. But our day, most importantly for our children, begin at 7:30 a.m. with a hot, full breakfast. We are what's called a universal Title I feed school. And so every student in our school, relative to their socio and economics, qualify for a free hot meal. It is imperative to me that if we're going to ask our children to focus and to give their level best every day, that we provide them with healthy and nutritious meals. And so we start our day with a wonderful hot breakfast for our children: turkey bacon, cheese eggs, home fries, fresh fruit, smoothies, granola bars, things of that nature. Our class, we begin our day every day with what we call our Umoja Circle. And that is an opportunity for our entire community to come together at one time to center ourselves around our mission, vision, and core values, to center ourselves around our purpose, not just for the day, but our purpose in the world. And then to focus on, again, our academic standards and what our instructional and academic goals are for the day. It is also a time of celebration where we celebrate the accomplishments of our children. And beyond that, it's a time of restoring. And so, if by chance we have a student who has had an instance of discourse, that Umoja Circle is an opportunity for them to ask the community for permission to be re-entered or restored into the community under the terms of trying to, from a social and emotional standpoint, better themselves going forward. Beyond that, our instructional day begins at 8:30, and we run through a typical schedule of mathematics, language arts, science, and social studies. We have a number of students who are from the Caribbean or from Africa, from countries that speak French. And so we offer world language French for our students. Beyond that, we have a very robust extended school program that extends our school day out to 6 p.m. And from 4 o'clock, 3:30, 4 o'clock until 6 p.m., we have an even more robust STEM program that is inclusive of drone flying and robotics and engineering. It is inclusive of STEAM, where we have capoeira, urban gardening, and a variety of arts programs that wrap themselves around the interest of our children. In fact, and I, because I know you have an interest in this, we have a very robust urban gardening program where we have an African American farmer from New Jersey, Freehaven Farm, that we have a partnership with. And to my surprise, it was really a surprise to me to see that the urban gardening program is one of the most popular programs with the young brothers and sisters who just love the experience of getting their hands in the soil.
Yes, sir.
We are moving now to creating or expanding, I would say, our urban gardening program, whereby we are in the process of developing an urban garden beyond our plot of land.
Nice.
The new technology is to develop an urban garden, believe it or not, in the trailer of a tractor trailer.
Beautiful,
so we're in the process of developing. We'll be the third one in the state. There's one in Mechanicsburg. Our sister school, Imhotep Charter School, just developed the second, and we'll be the third in the Commonwealth, whereby we'll grow organic fruits and vegetables inside a trailer, 53-foot long and 14-foot high trailer. We use all of our products that we harvest from our urban garden in a free farmers market for the community. And we give away our harvest in the community.
You're getting it figured out there, Brother Shanon. That's awesome because, you mentioned that I have a familiarity with urban gardening, and I just, I'm happy to see it, happy to hear it. And I intend to make a visit down there and, support you in any way you need.
Fantastic.
Yeah, that's awesome. So let me ask you this question, bro. I want to give you a minute or two, and might you bless us with the names of a few children that you would want to give recognition to? Because I know that I want to say hello to a few boys after you're finished, because and I think they understand that when they're mentioned in this arena, it's exciting to them, and it gives them a sense of belonging, especially with men like yourself and I think it will be a place where they can be celebrated more. So I don't know if someone just today touched you that you wanted to make a mention of. Just giving you that opportunity.
You mean in terms of our students?
Yeah, it's under the students.
So this is actually a really exciting time in middle schools across Philadelphia, because our middle school students just last week began to receive their high school acceptance. And so we have an eighth grade class of about 53 students. Of that 53 students, 41 of them were selected into some of the highest performing special admit high schools across the city, inclusive of Central, of course, Science Leadership Academy, Palumbo, Engineering and Science, and the like.
Nice.
Two young brothers that I'll highlight, and I'll just give you their first names so that we don't have a FERPA violation, if you will.
Yes, fair enough. Fair enough.
Young brother named Hannibal, who is a great STEM student and STEAM student, was accepted into Central Creative and Performing Arts, Science Leadership Academy, and Palumbo. He selected Central, of course. I said, boy, you better click that button on Central and keep it moving. I don't even know why it's a debate. But Brother Hannibal, eighth grade.
Well done, Brother Hannibal. Well done.
Selected Central. And another young brother, and you can see this young brother if you go on our website. We had an amazing STEM panel discussion as our signature fundraising event last spring. And this young brother, Jalen, was our student representative on that STEM panel and represented the student body of Harambee. And he selected Science Leadership Academy. And so two young brothers that I would highlight here at Harambee, who are not just cognitively bright, but great stewards socially and emotionally. And to that end, we have a student leadership group that we affectionately call the Black Shirts. And the Black Shirts is a group of student leaders who wear a differentiated school uniform, black shirt. And they do any number of service. They're required to do any number of service projects in the community. And so Jalen and Hannibal last spring, and they'll be doing it again this spring, did just an amazing food drive for Phil Abundance. Because in our community, believe it or not, here on 66 and Media, we're in a food desert, believe it or not. There was a ShopRite a block and a half away, which closed 2-3 years ago. And now you have to travel to go to the market all the way to 52nd Street, 52nd and Parkside to go to the market, or over to City Line Avenue near the Hilton on City Line Avenue, or over across into Montgomery County into Ardmore. And so being able to work, with and through Phil Abundance, again, relative to community service, these two young brothers absolutely are getting it done the right way.
I love that. It was Hannibal and Jalen.
And Jalen, yes.
Yeah, well done, Hannibal and Jalen. And I hope that they get a chance to see this and see how proud of them you are. And by area, by brotherhood, I am as well. These children, they have so many different challenges these days. And that's what I wanted to kind of get into. You touch on some real stuff about the challenges that these children face in our day and age. I remember I couldn't wait to get out of school so I could listen to the radio and just like listen to whatever's the hottest song and see what was going on. But these children, fortunately and unfortunately, have them in their ears all day. And it's kind of like the shift towards education and focus and importance in life rather than entertainment seems to be one of my challenges that I deal with my young ones. But as for you, as an educator who sees 500 children a day, what are some of your challenges that maybe you could put out there for people to know, at least one solution? Because I don't like leaving people with just, this is what's going on and we don't have anything to offer. Because talking about it for nothing is nothing. So can you explain maybe a challenge and a solution that your school and your team has come up with to help these youngsters?
Surely. I think, given the fact that we are, and my entire career has wrapped itself around urban education. I've worked and led in North Philadelphia, in Chester, PA, in Camden, and now here in West Philadelphia. And so I am a tried and true urban brother. Born and raised in North Philadelphia and a tried and true urban educator for 35 years in Philadelphia. I would say, given the fact that, again, that we are, in fact, an urban school, our biggest challenge for our children, young brothers and young sisters, is trauma relative to instances of violence.
Right.
So imagine, again, I said we are a citywide admit school. So while our school exists in West Philadelphia, we have young brothers and sisters who travel quite a distance, oftentimes on public transportation in order to get here. So imagine you rising at 5:30, getting on the bus at 6:30 in order to get here by 7:30, and almost literally putting on your armor because you got to travel through the hood in order to get here. And sometimes when they arrive, and here's where the experience and the matters of the heart really matter. Sometimes when they arrive, you can see them at the front door with the armor on fully. And sometimes you got to give them 20 minutes or so from a social and emotional standpoint to unpack the armor and allow their heart to come out and blossom. But that's the exterior. That armor is the exterior that many of them must have in order to traverse the city from their home to school. And so from a solution standpoint, what we do is, and I'm blessed, I have 5 other brothers who work here with me. And so, and a wonderful cadre of support people, counselors, and the like. We, as our children come in multiple doors, there are adults at every single door as the children enter the building. And we put an eye on every single student entering the building. And as they enter, if we notice that Brother Twyman has his armor on, come on over here, brother. Let me talk to you for a second, and let's see if we can help you unpack that so that your day can be productive. Interesting. So by way of solution, we resolve a lot of that, again, by appealing to our students' social and emotional consciousness.
Absolutely. Right. You got to hit it.
You got to hit it. Right. Interestingly, our dismissal time is 3:30. But interestingly, at about 3 o'clock, you can watch some of them start to put the armor back on for the trip and the traverse back home from school. And so there's lots of conversation. There's lots of mentoring and stewardship that occurs first thing in the morning, last thing at the end of the day, and throughout the course of our day from a social and emotional standpoint.
And I like how you hit that. That was a great wrap, Brother Shanon. Brother Shanon, this is the Fatherhood and Mentoring Committee Q's on the Move highlight. So you mentioned all those things that a strong male can offer. And that's what we do through a mentoring condition, whether it's teacher to student or counselor to student or just another person in the community who's a positive role model. Tell me about some of your things that you're doing with your mentoring program or up and coming trips that you might be having and things you're doing that you are involved more deeply in the community.
Great. So I believe, and I've said this for years, particularly as it relates to working with our children from a mentoring standpoint, from a stewardship standpoint. Children don't care how much you know until they know how much you care. Right.
On.
And so we do a lot of, for the young ladies, we've got a group of AKAs and Deltas and Zetas here,
nice.
staff that do a lot of sister circles for the young ladies around mentoring and stewardship. We, Brother Rosario and Brother Terrence and myself and some of the other brothers, Kabir from BG, and some of the other men in the building do a lot of mentoring and peer mediation, conflict resolution kinds of services to our children throughout the day. We take a case, we follow a case management model. So those students who need a little extra social and emotional support, who may need a touch point through the day. We have members of the staff who through the day may just grab a young brother at lunchtime or grab a young brother as he or she sister transitions in the hallway and just give them a moment, a touch point to say, hey, I'm here, I love you, I'm here for you. What do you need? And I see there's a brother Royster who just put a comment.
There you go.
Brother Royster was a student of mine, believe it or not, when I was the principal of Franklin Elementary School. And he's a great young man and now a great brother.
Yeah, give him a shout out. Give him a shout.
Royster, give him a shout. That's right.
Beautiful. Brother Shanon, let me ask you a quick question about your involvement with the community groups. The Movement Improvement Uplift Foundation was able to work with the Peace Organization, that's Proper Education and Cooperative Economics, with Brother Trey Bell to get to a Temple game. I had the pleasure of meeting your students, about 25 of them, well behaved as you don't know. They got to yell and scream like they should at the football game, and that was beautiful just to see how excited they were, and the fun that we had together. So, I saw initially on meeting them how well prepared they were to go out into the community and represent Harambee and represent themselves. So hats off to what you're doing. Those were great boys, and I hope that Brother Trey Bell keeps involved with what he's doing so that we can continue to prosper and make a bigger program.
Absolutely. Brother Trey Bell has been nothing short of amazing for our organization and our young men. I mentioned Brother Skeef earlier in our conversation. Brother Skeef was a mentor for Brother Trey many years ago. And so Trey has a strong tie to Harambee and a strong tie to our community. And his stocks versus sneakers program, his financial literacy
Isn't it beautiful?
Is amazing. Again, we have to go beyond just engaging our children around the curriculum, but particularly some of these young brothers, we got to provide them with training and stewardship around our first cardinal principle of manhood.
Absolutely.
And Brother Trey is a shining example of working with the young men in our building, around giving them great role models and great examples of what a strong man is.
That's beautiful, brother. I'm gonna give I don't know if we can get a video up. I had a couple gentlemen who do mentoring in the community. Brother Stephen Jackson, he's working with the program, and I was hoping to get his trailer up and played just to support every beautiful thing that's happening with these young students and community individuals doing positive things. I wish that we continue to talk a lot about this stuff till the children can start to lead these conversations. So I want you to keep in mind, Brother Shanon, that I will continue with my podcast, and if you have a youngster that you really would love to highlight, it would be a pleasure to have them on the show and just talk about how their experience has impacted their communities and how Harambee has impacted their lives. So I saw at least 2 people shout you out while we've been on this show. So you're doing a lot of things right.
Understood.
Brother. Yes. Brother, let me see if I can get this video up. I'll give him 1 second and then we'll probably close out. And I want you to leave us all with maybe a little something that we didn't cover, something that you might want the community to know about Harambee. I know that it's working, so keep doing it. And floor is yours, brother.
Thank you. I would leave you with again just highlighting some of the great accomplishments of our young people. We shouted out Brother Hannibal and Brother Jalen a moment ago, but just to leave you with a sense of some of the great accomplishments in the most recent history here at our school. Most recently, we participated as a STEM school in STEM Day at Six Flags. There were 120 schools in the competition. 114 were high schools. 6 were middle schools. Our middle school students won first place for the middle schools and the high schools. So our middle school students beat not just their peers in middle school, but beat all of the high schools as well. We won first place in the citywide robotics competition and came in third place in the regional robotics competition. Our 5th grade students won the citywide Little Engineers competition. Our middle school students won first place in the citywide oratorical competition. Again, we are now moving towards what's called hydrotech farming, and that's the farming inside the container. And we'll be a beacon of light in this food desert in our community, providing free foodstuffs for our neighbors and community members. In addition to that, we have Verizon towers on our roof. For example, Verizon needs to do surveys of those towers and wanted to fly drones over the building in order to do those surveys. I insisted that the drone flyers be our students. Our students and when they turn 15, can get an official aviator pilot's license for drone flying, which then qualifies them to make money doing surveys. And so now every time a survey has to be done on our Verizon cell towers, I insist that our students make that money by flying the drones over the building and doing those surveys for Verizon. Most of all, again, we work from the standpoint of education for self-reliance. And we're firm believers that if we can create great young people who are cognitively astute and socially and emotionally woke, that pays great dividends for them to be able to go out, get a great education, earn a great living, and then be able to pour those dollars and support back into our community, thereby creating the notion of education for self-reliance. And I would say, lastly, given everything that's going on in our community, and you don't have to look any further than the evening news to see what's going on, I would say that if you want to be, a defender of our community, if you want to be a homeland defender, if you want to be a brother of righteousness, then grab onto a young person and provide them with guidance and leadership and direction. That is the impetus that's going to help change our community, one young brother, one young sister at a time. Again, focusing on the notion of education for self-reliance.
Brother, well said. I don't have much more to say after that. I'm gonna leave that be the last words that people hear. Thank you. I appreciate it, and I appreciate your time, Brother Shanon. I love what you're doing in the community. And let's take a little watch at this video, which has to do with bringing former offenders back into our communities.
Truly, young king, I want to express to you that we have love for you. Thank you. Bless you and be well.
My king, I love you.
Love you, king.
Love you, king.
I love you, king.
Remember, I love you, king.
I always say this. My state number doesn't define me. I define my state number. I cannot leave this out. Mass incarceration. You know what I mean? How that has hampered and crippled the community.
Yes, especially the black community.
Especially the black community.
Some of the most artistic people are behind the walls of the penitentiary right now. I mean, but the way for them to show the people and show themselves that they still alive, sometimes they put it on the canvas.
And this is a major question. What is it that you need from us as the OGs in the hood, as the older guys? So what's that one thing right now that you can say, you know what, this is what I need from y'all?
I wanted to thank everybody. How they was pouring a lot of love. Like how you said, I'm like the future and I'm the king.
You're talking about deeply rooted, deeply rooted, deeply rooted.
I appreciate that little time at the end. That's Steven Jackson. He's working in the city of Philadelphia. Brother Shannon, I hope that we can link you and him up just off a community building project. He's having a event the 23rd. And if anyone has any interest in speaking with myself, the foundation, Brother Greg Shanon, Omega Psi Fraternity Incorporated, please look in, find a way. We'll have some links after the show. And I just want to leave the last word with Brother Shanon. And I read this on his page, and also I know I believe Terrence and Rose had said to him, this is Black History Month. So, brother, I'm gonna leave you with the answer to that question. I know that you have a great answer to it, and I like it. So, in honor of Black History Month, I'm gonna let you speak for a moment.
Thank you again, Brother Twyman. It's interesting. I once had someone ask me, what does Harambee do for Black History Month? And my reply was very simply, nothing. And they looked at me with shock and disdain and said, well, aren't you an African-centered school? How is it that you're not doing anything for Black History Month? And my reply was, we don't do anything for Black History Month because at Harambee, every day is Black History Month.
I love it, brother. I love it. I love it. Thank you for that little bit. And for all the listening audience, be safe, be peaceful, enjoy, and make sure that you give back to our youth. Thank you very much, Brother Shannon. Thank you very much.